the smallest angle across from the smallest angle is the short side. Okay, across from the 90-degree angle, what is that? The hypotenuse. That's the same for all right triangles. So I'm going to just abbreviate hypotenuse. And so this is the short leg, and we can call this the long leg. But out of the three, which one's the longest? The hypotenuse. Good. Questions about this? No? Okay. So, if we need to find the short leg, and we are given the hypotenuse, so we're given the hypotenuse, how do we go from the hypotenuse to the short leg? How do we go from 2x to x? Divide by 2. Good. So this would be the hypotenuse divided by 2. So if you're given the hypotenuse, remember we need to find the short leg first, then you would divide by 2 and you could get the short leg. Let's say you're given the long leg, x square root 3. How do we go from x square root 3 to the short leg? Divide by square root 3. Good. So we would take the long leg and divide by square root 3. So here, so this is how you would come up and figure out the short leg. This is always your first step. You either do this or this unless you're given the short leg. Okay? So if you have the short leg, how do you figure out what the hypotenuse is? So how do I go from the short leg to the hypotenuse? Times 2. Good. So this would be the short leg times 2. Or 2 times the short leg. Why does the word short look weird to me? I don't know. Okay. You ever look at a word and you're just like...
It looks hard.
Snort? That's probably what it looks like. I don't know.
That sounds weird too. Snort?
Yeah, like if I didn't draw this part longer, like I don't know. Okay, and then the last one, again, if we have the short leg, how do we go from the short leg to the long leg? Multiply by square root 3. When I test or quiz you guys over this, you will get this only, just this triangle, with the x, 2x, and x square root 3. We'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and figure this out. So first of all, our short side we already have, right? We already have the short leg. It is 6. So, how do we find the hypotenuse?
12.
Multiply it by 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. Good. And then we need to find the long leg. How are we going to find the long leg? Yeah, multiply the short leg by square root 3. Go ahead and see if you can do the next one. Not too bad, right? Okay, so what's the hypotenuse on the next one? 16, good. And what's the long leg? Perfect. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So now we are given what? What are we given? The hypotenuse. What one do we need to find first? Short leg. So these are how we find these things. So we need to find the short leg. We have the hypotenuse. So what do we need to do? Divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now we have the short leg. Now with the short leg, what do I do? Multiply by square root 3. Good. See if you can do the next one.
Easy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeeze. Yes. Good. What's the short leg on the next one? 2. And what is the long leg? 2 times the square root of 3. Perfect. You guys are catching on really quick. Now we have the long leg. How are we going to find the short if we have the longer leg? Divide by square root 3. Can we do that in our head? Okay, what's the short leg? 10, good. And then how do I go from the short leg to the hypotenuse? Multiply by 2. Simeon, you got this next one?
I think I did it. 5 and 10.
Class, you guys agree? Okay. Too easy?
Yeah. I thought that the next ones are gonna be like
Last one. Last one, we'll step it up a notch.
Oh, no.
Yes.
How is this even?
Okay.
That's wrong.
Okay, so how do I go from the long leg to the short leg? Divide by square root 3, so I'll get 6 divided by square root 3. Can I have that? No. So what am I going to multiply by? Could I take the shortcut with this one? 3 can go into 6. Can I do the shortcut?
Yeah,
I forget.
but I don't remember how.
I have a couple people saying no. Why no? They're not both underneath the square root, or they're both not whole numbers. So we can't do that. So we're going to have to do this. Square root, or 6 square root 3 over 3. Now what? Can I simplify?
Yes.
Yeah. We get 2, 1. We don't need the 1 underneath. So our answer for here is 2 square root 3 for the short leg. And then I need to what to get the hypotenuse? Multiply by 2. What gets multiplied by 2? Just the 2, right? Do not multiply the inside, because the 2 that we're multiplying this by is not underneath a square root symbol. Go ahead and figure out this one.
Are you eating food right now while I do?
Good.
He's eating
What's wrong
food.
with him?
Give me. Oh.
Right?
Well, Simeon.
Simplify right back.
This is good.
Yeah.
I got the.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Okay, so what did we get for the short leg? Perfect. You should get 10 times the square root of 3 over 3. Now we need to multiply it by 2.
You multiply both or just the one? 20.
So this is what it would look like. So we have 10 square root 3 over 3, and we're multiplying it by 2 over 1. If you want to change it both the fractions. So then when you look at it that way, you're only multiplying the 10.
That was still.
Good question. So this is our hypotenuse. What do we think?
Sounds. I think that should be.
Looks easy, but remember we also have 45, 45, 90. So when we mix both of them together, sometimes maybe those rules can get a little mixed up.